Hello and welcome to Cardboard and Plastic. Today, I want to show you one of the sets that I completed, and also I traded a few of my doubles of vintage, and I always want vintage back or graded rookies or something for my PC. This I think is going to be a surprise, and I'll explain why I traded for those. So one of the things I started to collect when I got back into the hobby in about 2020 was Hall of Fame rookies. And I started with the 1980s, but it gets kind of crazy because like Randy Johnson, like do you have the Fleer, Upper Deck, Score, right? There's tons of different rookies. So I started to dive back further and further. So I wanted to do the 1970 to 1980, that Hall of Fame rookie run. And I finally got back my last card for that. So I'm going to show you all these. So all these cards, except for maybe one or two of them, I bought raw and I got graded. So these are really just eBay purchases. So start with Burt Bylevin. This got a PSA 6, but it's a nicely centered card. It's really hard to find these 1971s in this condition. This one I bought raw on eBay. 1971, got a PSA 7. This is a really nice card, nicely centered for the Carlton Fisk 6.5. I had a double, and I'm trading that one as well. I got a PSA, I think 5.5. This is a really nicely centered Goose Gossage rookie, 1973. And that I bought raw, got graded. This is, I think, one of the few that I just bought graded. Somebody had this. I like the centering of it. I mean, it has rough corners, but it's a pretty nice copy of it, and only a 3.5, but that's the Schmidt. I had two PSA 7s of this, and I bought another raw one, and it got a CSG 7.5, and I like the centering the best on this one, so I'm going to keep this. Really hard to find centering, and even on the back, if you could find a Winfield that has even all the borders around it, you have a nice card. I bought about, I would say, 10 of these, and this is my highest graded raw Robin. All of them got like 5s and 6s. I even had one that got a 4. So I finally got one that got a 7. I said, okay, that's it. And before I got that one, I bought this one too. It was a mini. It was nicely centered, a little rough around the corners, but very nicely centered. Mini one. I don't have the Brett Mini. Now, I did get rid of my PSA 6 for the cards that are in here. And I kept this one. I really do not like how they color match this. I wish they just did the purple here and then the green. And I guess this blue matches like the blue of the sleeve. But I like this one a little bit better than my PSA 6, but this is not done yet. I'm going to try to get a PSA 7 for that. And then we're going to the other 1975s. These are nice to get 8s on the 1975. Here's the Gary Carter. Another 8. Nicely centered, dense accuracy, so the Eck got a 6. I think there's just like one corner issue that stopped it from getting a 7. But again, if you can find these with as centered as this, it's a good copy of the card. Yes, and if you are OCD, this collection is pretty horrific to look at with CSG cards, SGC, I don't have any Beckett for these, but I do have Beckett's for the 1980s. So 7.5, a little disappointed. I thought it would be a little bit higher than this, but perfectly centered for this 1977 setter. Now the next two cards I think are overgraded. I want to try to, I mean, they're very sharp cards, and this is what PSA looks at. PSA is more lenient on centering, but they're more harsh on surface and corners. So really, if you have a card that has sharp corners, a little bit off-centered, I would send it to PSA. So this got an 8. I'm going to try to upgrade this for a more centered version for the Dawson rookie. And the same thing with the Eddie Murray. This also got an 8, but I don't like the centering on this. So I'll have to upgrade this one. This one I looked for a while. I actually bought this one. So the two that I did buy, and all the other ones I bought raw and graded. This one I purchased, and the centering is really good. And the most important part about this card, it doesn't have the print defects on it. So I was looking for a card that was centered without print defects. I saw this one, I think it was like 40 bucks on eBay. So I picked this up very quickly. So great version of that card. I do have a PSA 8. I'm just going to keep the CSG. The resale value of this compared to the PSA, they're both about centered the same. Really nice card. I actually have another one in my next order. So if that one gets higher than 8, I'll trade this one as well. But I'm going to get rid of my PSA one. I actually kept this over my PSA 7. The centering was almost identical. This one was a little bit worse top to bottom, but this was better side to side. So I kept this one. I got rid of my PSA 7. Kind of regretting it at this point. I think I should have kept the PSA, but again, I traded that for some of the cards in here. And this is, as a kid, owning this card was a dream. The 1980 Rickey Henderson. This got an 8. I graded probably about 6 or 7 of them on either SGC and PSA. I think I got 4 PSA 7s before I got this PSA 8. And I did get like a SGC 8 and a SGC 7.5. All of those I did trade for other things. And really I built a big collection by taking raw cards off of eBay and then selling them. Of the 6 or 7 Rickey Henderson rookies I did buy, I don't think I spent more than $30, $40 on each of those. And every single one graded above a 7. So every single one was a huge return. So there are a lot of nice cards still available on eBay, but it's getting less and less. It's getting harder and harder to find those. So I had a bunch of duplicates of these type of cards. And on the forums, I put like, these are the cards I'm willing to trade. And I really just want Hall of Fame rookies, Hall of Fame autos, other vintage cards. And then somebody sent me a message saying, well, I got these cards if you're interested. And I decided to go for it. So I got 3 cards. And this Mahomes I just kind of took to make the deal kind of work. So I'm not really a modern collector, but an SGC 9 Mahomes. This is just a regular Donruss. And I kind of looked at the numbers with it, and they sell really well for the raw versions. And that kind of shows me that there's not a lot of supply out there for these type of cards. So this one I decided to keep this in my PC for a little bit. Eventually I'll probably trade that one. But these are the 2 bigger cards that really interested me. And I didn't really know much about this one here. So this card is a Kawhi Leonard 2012-2013 Threads, Panini Threads. And this has a on-card auto for his rookie year. And looking at the pop reports, there's just not a lot of this card out there. There is, I believe, like 45 in PSA. There's like 4 in SGC slabs, and there's like 68 in Beckett. However, the Beckett, a lot of those I think were probably cracked and put into the PSA holders. And what really intrigued me about this card is not the grade, a 9, but the auto got a 10. It does kind of doesn't stop before the card ends, so it kind of goes off. So I don't know if that's a perfect 10 auto, but the auto is not. I mean, these cards, I saw a lot of autos that were like disappearing, that the autos were very poor for the streaking. So we'll see how he comes back and how he does. And I really thought this was a cool card to have with something that probably doesn't have much of a population, over like 300 cards out there. And the last one is a old CSG holder, but I think it goes well with this card, for the Giannis Basic Prism. And this card, with the green, I don't like all the empty space. It was a good idea for for CSG to change their label. They needed to do that. But this card itself, I'm just going to leave it in here for now. I saw like just cards in horrible shape for these go for $300. So just having a 9 of this card and limited pop reports, and there's really not many. I mean, even the ones that go on sale, they're still holding their value. So I thought this would be a cool card to have for a Hall of Famer, and eventually I'll have to put him in my Hall of Fame collection. So I'm not really a vintage, not a modern collector, but I got some modern cards. So if you ever want to see more of these videos, just let me know. I'm working on like my Hank Aaron run. I'm working on a lot of different sets. One of the sets I'm working on is the red and blue backs of the 1951 Topps cards. So this is like the first top set. So if you ever want to see any of those videos, just let me know, and let me know about the modern cards that I got. Were they not good cards to get, or do you think that those could possibly be decent cards down in the future? I hope everybody has a great day.